All right, guys. I can see the most motivated of you have been waiting for a while. This is good. I like to see that. I like to see people who are inclined to immigrate to the States, and that's why I'm organizing these webinars for you. Today we're going to spend probably around an hour and a half together. We are going to cover a lot of material, okay? And when I say a lot, I mean it's going to be not only a lot in a way that I'm going to talk a lot and explain things, but also the density of the material, all right? So what I want from you guys is, of course, to be focused, and I like when the participants of the webinar do the notes, okay? So make sure you have a pen with you, a piece of paper, or if you want to use a gadget, that's probably better because that way you can save the information on your phone, on your computer, and that way you can go back and review, okay? And of course, everybody knows if you guys trying to record this webinar or do something like this, you will never go back to this, okay? So make sure that you are focused and you commit yourself for at least hour and a half, and that way you'll get the most value out of it. Today I'm going to be discussing O1, EB1A, EB2 NIW. I'm going to tell you about the real cases, the fresh recent cases. By the way, we got two fresh approvals this week, both for EB1A, the first one for IT specialist, and the second one for digital artist. Okay, basically an artist who does her art on the computer. All right, so two fresh approvals for EB1A. I like to start the week like that and get to the middle of the week with two fresh approvals. And we're going to be discussing more cases in more details. They're not as recent, meaning not like today or yesterday's, maybe like a few weeks ago, maybe a few months, but still relatively fresh. So stay tuned. Also, guys, I'm going to be discussing the most used visas for 2024. So I'm gonna be forecasting which visas are gonna be used the most for the purpose of immigration, and also I'm gonna have a few gifts for you. So Rashi, good afternoon. I'm glad that you made it here. And everybody else, guys. And by the way, who is willing? I know not everybody is willing, but who is willing, please make sure that you send me your geographical location, send me the city and the country where you're from, so I could know the geography of those who are here. I am in Miami, Florida right now. To be more exact, this city is called Aventura. This is the northern part of Miami, and you guys know that Miami is a huge metropolitan area with a lot of smaller cities, so I'm right between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. So yes, drop your location so I know where you guys from. Last time there were a lot of people from Macedonia, from northern Macedonia, so let's see if we have anybody here from that part of the world. Rashi in Sweetwater, Miami, Florida. Very good. Rashi, you have the best location so far. And we guys, everybody knows that Miami is the best place. I came back from a vacation in Colombia just 2 days ago. And guys, after the US, Colombia is my favorite place. Let me know if anybody of you ever visited Colombia, because I do believe that country is one of the best for travel, for food, for prices, for culture, for the views, for the mountains. I had a great time. There was a few crazy stories. I actually went to the wedding of my good friend Fernando. He's from Bogota, but his wedding was in Santa Marta. Never been to Santa Marta, so this first time. Really good location for budget, you know. So stay tuned. You'll see some stories on my Instagram, so you could see what I've been doing there and what kind of fun I had. Okay, let's see. Glen Allen, Virginia. Okay, so we have people from the States. Probably you guys here on either tourist visa, student visa, or maybe on some kind of work visa, and you are exploring the opportunities to get your immigrant visa. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. So, what are you learning, guys? Latest updates on US talent visas that may affect your case going forward to 2024. Definitely I'll be covering the criteria for EB2 and NIW and talent visas, the classic talent visas O1 and EB1A. And I'm going to be discussing the criteria for O1 and EB1A at the same time because they're basically the same, but for O1B, but this is a small exception, so we're not going to spend much time over there. Also, I'm going to be discussing the common mistakes that I see that my clients do before the cases, because once you start working with my team, the mistakes are not being made, okay? Because I guide throughout your case, you have a strategy, you have the team, and you do everything under my guidance, okay? Under the assistance of my team. Also, we're going to be covering the real cases and you will be able to ask questions. So make sure you guys ask your questions and let me know if you want to learn anything above what I already mentioned, okay? Because I have my stuff that I want to deliver, but you maybe Mridul or Rashi, maybe you guys want to know more things that I did not mention yet. So please let me know if you have any ideas. Also, those of you who is going to stay to the end, and I don't know who is not going to be staying to the end, because the material is going to be unique, exclusive, and you guys will not be able to learn all this stuff if you try to find this stuff for free. And today you're getting it for free. I'm willing to commit my time to make sure that I bring the education to the masses. So those who's gonna stay to the end will get the opportunity to get first a free evaluation of a case. What it means? That means that I will let you know what kind of form you will be able to fill out, and I will be analyzing your answers to my questions and basically giving you a free consultation. Okay, that's what other attorneys do for the money. They want you to come to the consultation, ask you questions, and give you the answers. We basically in my company do it for free for you, because I think it's unfair to charge somebody money just to tell them that, hey, you qualify or you don't qualify. Okay, and that's the purpose of the free evaluation. And gift number 2, you guys will get the best guide on talent visa criteria. And when I say the best, I'm not trying to like lure you to the end of this webinar, and of course it's in your best interest to stay till the end, but I developed this guide by myself. It's, first of all, it's beautiful, and you see the first page of it, and you see, first of all, you see the beautiful person on the cover. That's myself, and of course, the content that you're gonna have in this little mini guide is just amazing. You know, you combined with your knowledge from today's webinar and the content of the guide, you guys will be like almost experts in the field. So make sure you stay tuned. And who is that knowledgeable, beautiful, and talented person? I'm just kidding, guys. You are those, all those characters are for you. I don't think I'm a talented person. I'm the one who helped the talented persons and business people and investors to come to the States through the talent, purchasing of the business, opening a startup, or investment. Okay, so me in my team. All we have in our heads is the result for our clients. So I've been doing this thing for over 10 years. That's how much experience I have in American jurisprudence. I'm the founder and the president of Shamayev Business Law Corporation. We have more than 110 people working in my corporation. More than 10 departments, because we have 10 established departments in the company, and 2 more departments are being established as we speak. We helped more than 2,000 people all over the world to come to the States. And these people are from more than 50 countries. So you guys didn't drop your countries. That's totally fine with me. But I'm pretty sure every country that you're from, I have the clients from. So the recent cases, international, I have the clients from Russia, from Kazakhstan, from Cameroon, from Germany, from Brazil, from Venezuela, from China, a lot, Canada, lots of countries. So I love my international clients because you guys are great, and I'm happy to help you to come here to the States. Also, I'm an active member of Florida State and Broward County Bar Associations. I'm a member of Florida Courts of Appeals Association, and also 11th Federal District Court, meaning that I can take your cases to the Federal Appellate Court if they were filed within the 3 states of Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. All right, so let's see what you guys commenting and writing. Redul, you want to know difference between EB2 and NIW in EB1A? I'm going to cover that, Redul. Thank you. This is a great question. To Louis from Indianapolis. There you go, guys. Today's unique is a unique webinar because we have a lot of people already here in the States, which is good. I like to see that. I see Adeyemi from Nigeria. It's good. I'm working right now at least on 2 cases from Nigeria, one for EB1A and one for EB2 and NIW. And Adeyemi, I think it's great you are here because you know, I don't have to tell you that things in Nigeria are really bad with the economy. Your local currency is dropping against dollar and Bitcoin. And you guys know I'm a big fan of Bitcoin, and the things are not looking good. So all people in Nigeria, and there are a lot of engineers, IT, and business people, should consider the option to come to the States and exchange the local currency that no one needs, no one uses, or no one keep the value in for dollars, and dollars for the services of my company. Okay, why? Because then you get the value. Then you get the value. Everything else is going to be lost. Okay. Russia origin of this country is India. Yes, definitely. We have a lot of clients from India, mostly for O1 visa and EB1A. I do have EB2 and NIW for India, but Russia, you know, that there is a problem with the visa bulletin for Indians, and even for EB1A, it's not looking very good. But still, a lot of people are willing to wait for a long time to come to the States and still be a part of this great country. All right, so guys, my corporation specializes in basically 3 types of immigration. I don't take family cases, I don't take deportations, asylums, all this craziness. I don't specialize in those. I do only business and investor visas and talent visas, and sometimes I say work visas as a separate category. But yes, the visas you see on your screen. These are the ones I'm doing and nothing else. Okay, I do a little bit of a corporate law in Florida. Will help with the opening up accounts and companies in the States. Help sometimes with some corporate work, but that's because I have a lot of knowledge in corporate law in the US and in the business law. So and my clients have a demand for this. So we also of course trying to keep our clients from going to other attorneys, not because it's a bad thing, but sometimes it's just inconvenient for the clients to do this. All right, so of course I recommend you, I already mentioned that, guys. I want you to focus because only when you focus you'll get the most out of this webinar, and if you make notes then you get the maximum. All right, so please make sure you do that. Okay, we already had this slide. I don't know what's doing here. Your questions, of course, and we warmed up a little bit, guys, so I think we're ready to start, and we are going to start with O1 visa. And let me tell you guys, even before we go to the next slide, O1 visa, I think is one of the easiest to get approved, okay, across all visas that are in existence in this galaxy. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't take a lot of work to do it, but the end result is gonna be approval with 98%, especially if you work with my corporation. Okay, so for years and years of doing O1 visas, which we have dozens and dozens and dozens, we had only a few denials, which I disagree with, but the total approval rate for my O1 visas is 98%. And up to this date, we did not hit the bottom of this visa, meaning that we got O1 approved that, in my mind, not that they were not supposed to be approved, but I think they were like weak cases, and the clients knew they were weak cases, but were willing to push that forward, and we were able to do this. Okay, so O1 visa, first of all, is a great way to get your leg in the door of the United States of America, and especially for those of you who are from India and China and maybe Mexico and other countries like Philippines and Indonesia that may have the longer wait for immigrant visas. So once you have your O1 visa, there is no wait, and it's up to 3 years that you can be here in the States and work, and unlimited extensions for 1 year. Okay, so let's say Russia, you have a good case for EB1A, but of course the wait time is very long. So what we could do, we could get you approved for O1A visa and then file pretty much the same case for EB1A, and you basically wait in the US for your green card while you're staying on O1 visa, which you extend indefinitely until the time is good for you. Okay, so like for Indians, I think this is one of the best way, and also this is a good way for a lot of people who qualify for a green card to come to the States faster. Okay, because the green card for EB1A will take about 1.5 years from the time you start working with my company, and O1 visa will take about 8 months. All right, and now I'm already covering some information that I'm following on the slides, but I think this is important to mention before you see the actual things that I'm going to talk about. The second option for O1 visa to get before EB1A is that we don't yet qualify for EB1A because it's a much higher standard for approval. So we get O1A or B approved, then I build a strategy for you to get more recognition and achievement in your field to get approval for EB1A, and the rest of the time you're working on your green card. Okay, and let me share with you guys, for the years of working in this industry, I've done maybe at the top of my head, maybe 3 extensions of O1 visa for the clients who originally came to me to get O1 visa. Okay, and what does it mean? It means that everybody else got approved for EB1A or EB2 NIW once they got O1 visa. Okay, so that means that within the 3 years of your work and being in the States, most of you, the overwhelming majority of you are working on EB1A and get it approved a little bit later. Okay, so that's the way to go. So the benefits is that, well, I don't think live permanently in the United States is a correct thing, unless we keep in mind that you're going to be extending it, preparing for EB1A. Okay, so you live actually temporarily. That's the proper way to say it, while you are waiting for completing your strategy for the green card. You do not need a labor certification. And I don't know who was making this presentation. NIW doesn't require labor certification. It requires the waiver of the labor certification. That's the purpose of EB2 NIW, because we do not have the employer who signs the petition for you. Okay, and there is a separate document in NIW cases where we deal with the labor certification. So that's I would think that's the meaning of this information here. But we do not get any labor certification for NIW, and that's the number one benefit of this visa. Of course, you can work and travel in the U.S. Inside, outside for the length of your visa. And you can bring your spouse and your kids who are below 21 years old. Your children will be able to go to school, to the public school in the US for free. Unfortunately, your spouse will not be able to work, which I believe for the purpose of O1 visa is the biggest disadvantage. Everything else for O1 is great. The not working spouse that cannot work is the biggest negative effect that we have for this visa. Also, guys, don't forget, and I do believe that a lot of you forget this thing, and maybe you have a question like, oh, Stanislav, I know that O1 visa requires an employer. And this is true. This is true. An employer or an agent must sign the petition, but you need to remember and keep it in your mind all the time that your own company, your own LLC or corporation may be your employer. Okay? And I've done dozens of cases like this where we claimed the beneficiaries, who is you're a beneficiary of this petition, company as an employer or an agent. Okay? And what's the difference between an employer and an agent? Well, employer, when you actually work for this company and you're getting paid for the profits that the company is making based on your work, right? And the agent is when your company is a middleman between you and other company or projects, and basically you work as an independent contract through your company for other companies in the US. Okay? Make sense? I hope so. All right? And I think it's easy. It's an easy concept. Sometimes I just go through this just to make sure that we all understand. Also, O1 is good because there's an expedited processing. All right? And your case will be approved within 15 days, usually much faster than that, because the way I design your package, your memorandum, your exhibits is really easy for the immigration officer to understand. So they take a little bit of time to go through this to get the approval for your case. All right, let's see what else. Fits for any profession, 3 criteria out of the 10, out of the 8 actually. The depth and the prestige of the criteria is much less than EB1A. Okay, if EB1 is here, O1 is going to be right here. Very huge difference between the two. With a little bit of recognition in your field, you can get approval for O1A or O1B visa. For EB1A, we need a lot of recognition, a lot of achievements, and we're going to be talking about this more. All right, so let's move on. Basically, I discussed with you O1 visa. Now I'm going to be discussing EB1A visa, and then I'm going to be discussing with you the criteria for both of them because they are the same. All right, so to save the time, and that's more logical, we're going to be discussing it all together. But I'm going to be making certain things, the differences in the criteria, and giving you the recipe of what I'm looking for in a client when I'm analyzing them for O1 or EB1A visa. So EB1A visa, guys, this is the elder sister of O1 visa. And let's see, there's a question from YouTube. By the way, guys, those of you who are watching this webinar on YouTube, I do not see your questions, but we have moderators that track the questions on all the other platforms, on Facebook, on on YouTube and others. So you can still drop the questions, and I will most likely see them in the chat. And those of you who are on Livestorm, who registered, you of course get the most benefit. I see your questions immediately, and of course you'll get all the benefit of the gifts and everything like that. So let's see what the question is from Anil on YouTube stream. Hello Stanislav, for O1, how can we find any agent on employer? And Anil, I think I already answered your question when I was discussing that you, if you cannot find, whatever the way you use, if you cannot find an employer or agent in the US, you will need to register your own company. Okay? And you don't have to be in the US to do this. We can do it remotely, and you can hire my company to do this service for you. It's not very expensive, and we do it for any state, and we can help you out with the structuring of the company. So that resolves a lot of problems that the clients have with the employer for the purpose of O1 visa. Okay? So I think this is clear. Sarim. Hi Shamayev, hi Sarim, always happy to see you. Definitely, Sarim, you'd like to come to these events. Do you recommend O1 to EB2 NIW or direct EB2 NIW? And O1, do you recommend change of status, style or from council? While in my home country, why do people go for O1 to EB1A rather than EB2? Sarim, this is a great question, and actually a very deep question, because I can spend like an hour discussing this topic. We don't have an hour, so I will be quick and sweet and smooth. So, O1 to EB1A versus O1 to EB2 NIW depends on two things. First of all, do you have enough evidentiary base or the potential to build the evidentiary base for EB1A? Okay, because if you do, I prefer the switch between O1 to EB1A, just because EB1A is less subjective than EB2 NIW, meaning that once I qualify you for EB1A, we going for a sure shot. Okay, we're going for a slam dunk in your case, like meaning that we have a very high chance of getting that approved. Same with the EB2 NIW if I qualified you, but because EB2 NIW has a longer wait in the visa bulletin, okay, that means that it's going to be a longer time between you getting a green card through this or that way. But again, for the purpose of O1, switching to EB1A or EB2 NIW, unless you're from India, I will go to the visa that is easier and more logical for you. So if you're already on O1 and you are involved in a project, in an endeavor that's in the national interest of the US, I think that's the way to go. That's the way to continue your immigration process, to stick to EB2 NIW, because you already have something going, and if you already brought the result through your O1 business, I mean, this is that's the the nail in the coffin for the purpose of getting your EB2 NIW approved, because not only it's a proposed endeavor, that's the ongoing endeavor with a track record. Okay, so and that's again going back to the question of Mridul, the difference between EB2 and NIW and EB1A, and that's the practical difference of it, because EB1A we are proving by showing that we satisfied at least 3 criteria out of the 10. Okay, so we basically look at your past, what happened in the past, to prove that you will be of the benefits to the US and that you're an extraordinary person. All right, when we prove your EB2 and NIW, we're looking at your proposed endeavor in the future, how it's of the national interest to the US, and the way to prove that you will be successful, we look at your relevant experience in the past and translate it to the future endeavor. Okay, so these are two different concepts. And of course, your achievements, your recognition, they play a great role when I assess which way to get immigrant visa after we got O1 visa. Or even at the same time, when I analyze your O1, I can tell, okay, we barely, for example, can get you approved for O1A. That means that the gap between O1A and EB1A is huge. So we need to consider then EB2 NIW. But sometimes when I approve you for, we work on O1A and I qualify you and I see that you need maybe a little push to get EB1A approved, maybe more publications, maybe one more like judging the work of others or award. I will tell you, hey, let's push to get those things done, and then we build on your O1 case and get you approved for EB1A. Okay? So these are the two concepts I usually use assessing which way to go further. But a lot of times it's also individual. So when you send me your questions to my free evaluation form, I can already see what's going on with the case. And when you come to complex immigration planning, I can build the written strategy of your case starting from O1, or if you already have bigger achievements or interesting project, I can assess you immediately for the green card. All right, so I see a bunch of questions. Let's go by the questions. Okay. And yeah, Sarim, change of status. Well, I prefer O1 through the embassy. Because you will be able to then travel freely between the US and other countries. And I think that's the way the US government prefers you do things. However, in some situations, I may recommend the change of status in the US. For example, if you have maybe in the near future you have a good case for EB1A, which we can file, probably the best way to tackle that would be to get on O1 change of status, then work a little bit to get more achievements for EB1A and then file EB1A in the US. Why? Because that will make things easier. You don't have to go to the interview and it's going to be faster. Okay, or if you want to get O1A and you don't plan to leave the States for a couple of years maybe, then it probably makes sense also to the change of status. Adeyemi, I'm in the UK at the moment. I have a master's degree in business management. I'm originally from Nigeria. Which visa do you think I qualify for? I don't know. Adeyemi, this is not enough. This is not enough information. It could be both EB1A or EB2 NIW, depending on certain details. So stay tuned till I get through the criteria and fill out at the end the free evaluation form for both visas. And maybe you say, oh, okay, EB1A is not for me. I'll do the EB2 NIW, and I will take a look, and then I'll be able to let you know which visa is better for you. Rashi, yes, EB1A is current. But for a couple of countries, one of them is India. But for everybody else, yes, it's current as of right now. Sarim, you're welcome. Good. A question from Collins Onienzo, I believe from YouTube. Please, how much does it cost for you to help me register my company? Depending on the state and depending on whether you need the corporate work, which sometimes you have to have a corporate work, sometimes you don't have to. So without the corporate work, and don't quote me on that, because this could be different states, different government fee. It's anywhere between $1,500 to $2,000. Okay, and if you need the corporate work, add 1,500 more. So with the full package, it could be anywhere from 3,000 to like 3,300. All right, Collins. I don't know why a moderator is sending a question from Collins. I guess you asked it on YouTube, but you also here. Okay, no problem. I have a master's degree in polymer engineering in Belgium. Okay, sounds really good. Which recommendations do you have for me in terms of visa? Same thing, Collins. Same thing as for Adeyemi. When I see the engineering degree, I'm more inclined for EB2 and NIW, especially Collins, if you have some experience in this. Okay, not only you have masters, but you already worked like 3, maybe 5 years in the industry, and you worked on some projects. That's immediately the green flag for the EB2 and NIW. But again, I will need you to fill out the forms for free evaluation. I will tell you how at the end. Richard, good day. We're at a different type of what are the different type of evidence that can be compiled to present? Oh my God, I didn't come back from vacation, guys. Okay, again, what are the different types of evidence that can be compiled to present with the filing of EB1A application? Additionally, can high-profile letters of reference from people in culture, such as the Ministry of Culture and History, be included in the evidence package? Okay, definitely, guys. If you have a recommendation or expert opinion letters from higher ranks in the government, those are really good, and they do affect the decision on your case. However, as to the types of evidence for EB1A, it depends. Which criteria? Is it a award? Is it a press? Is it a publication? Is it a contribution in the industry? Most of the time, the evidence are in the form of letters. Okay, letters. So that's number one evidence. Also, press, independent publications, and things like that. We're gonna go deeper in that very soon. Collins, in addition, I have a Belgian nationality at the moment, but I'm from Nigeria originally. Yes, it does affect your current citizenship. It affects the petition to the extent where you're going to be having your visa interview, but the origin of the birth is what we look at when we look at the visa bulletin. Like, for example, if Rashi is, let's say he is originally from India, but he has UK citizenship, okay? We still disregard his UK citizenship because we look for the purpose of visa bulletin to the country of origin, okay? This is a good question also. Luisita de la Cruz, with the announcement of President Biden regarding AI, would it be better for an AI professional to wait for changes that will happen in the immigration process or apply a sub for EB2 and NIW? Absolutely. There's no, guys, listen to this, okay? Very important message, you know, red flags, alarm, very important. Trust me. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to push you to start working with my company. No way, okay? I know we're the best, and I know we are the best shot for anybody who wants to come to the States. But if you have a case, regardless for which visa, O1, EB1, NIW, even if you have some other visas, H1B, if you have family, whatever, and you're thinking, okay, let me, I don't know, finish my degree, let me work a little bit in my country to get more experience, let me get married, let me get my first kid. Stop this, okay? There's no better time to start your immigration process than now. Not because you're gonna waste your time waiting in case you have a case, okay? In case I qualified you for the case. But also the immigration. Since I started practicing 2015, every single year it became only harder. Never ever in my career it became easier to get approval for EB1A, for L1, for E2, for EB5, for all those visas. It's always harder. Why? Well, because the laws are the same, but interpretation of those laws is different every year, depending on the administration, on the president, on the economic situation, on who is the head of USCIS, a lot of factors, okay? And trust me, 2024 is going to be harder. Not only because of the reason that I mentioned, but also because the competition between you is higher, because the world is globalizing, okay? We are becoming like as one people, all right, as one like big nation. So and the social media helps it, AI helps it. We know more people who achieved things in the world because of the ease of the information, how easy it's to get the information. And the immigration officers, they are people like us. So if they know there is this and that person who achieved those things, when you look at your petition, and you may be also great professional things, but they comparing it in their head to those who achieved like the very, very top, okay? And every year this is getting harder and harder and harder. So don't think that you will be starting your process 2024, 2025. No, the right time is yesterday. AI, definitely, Luisito, if you are in AI, we will get you approved, okay, with like 95% chance, be it EB2NIW, be it EB1A, doesn't really matter. If you have something in that sense, we have a strong case already. Rashi, what is the timeline for EB1A for India? Russia, just it's easy to get, okay? I can't remember from the top of my head. The last month it was like 2012. I don't remember for this month. I probably around that. So it's like 10 years wait. All right, guys. Last question. Let's move on. Someone Raval. I'm sorry, this is a hard name. From YouTube, how many publications are typically required for B1A? Publications in the press, I want 4. Okay, we will be discussing that in a minute, but yes, I want 4. If you talk about academic publications, it's 3 to 4. Okay. How many citations are good? No citations needed. No citations needed for academic publications. I just want them to be published in the indexed journals. They gotta be indexed, okay? So that's the only requirement. If you have a lot of citations, we can use it for the purpose of contribution in the field, okay? But the exact criterion of scientific or academic publications does not require citations, okay? What time for Indian candidate for EB1A? I already said that. I believe it's about 10 years. Okay, Sarim, I see your questions. Let's move on to the criteria, because that's the main thing that we need to understand before we can make things happen. Okay, so criterion number 1, and guys, for O1 visa and EB1A, we're discussing them at the same time, and we're going to be discussing only 8 criteria. Why? Because the last 2 criteria for EB1A, they go towards the art. So this is a very narrow category. Yes, we just like I told you in the beginning, we just got an approval for EB1A for digital artists. That's art category, and she's actually was using both those 2 criteria for the art, but for the sake of time and easiness of explanation, we're going to cover only 8 that fits everybody. So number 1 is awards. The classic way of an award is when you participate in the competition with other professionals in your field, okay? And I want to see that the competition is at least nationally recognized. So either people from all your country participate in that competition, or it could be regional, let's say Delhi, India, right? It's in the capital, only people from capital, but the rest of India recognizes it, and press writes about it, and people talk about it, and the winners are recognized as if they won on a national level. Okay, so it's not about people participating from the entire country. It's how the rest of the country treats this competition. So it gotta be nationally recognized. If it's internationally recognized, it's very good. It makes it more prestigious. I need at least one competition, one award. It could be first, second, third place, but also any place that gets a prize or an award. And if a government participates in this, in organizing this event or competition, that scores it higher. Okay, it gets more it gets more attention by of the immigration officer. Also, guys, those of you who go to conferences, and let me tell you, if you guys have a chance to go to the conference and speak, not participate is good too, but speaking at the conference, that immediately, just the fact that you speak at conferences, at the professional conferences, that elevates your case to the sky. All right? And I'm not joking. Why? Because that, first of all, it could be an award in itself, especially if whatever you delivered, your speech, your thesis, if it's being published after the conference, that's 100% an award or prize for the purpose of EB-1A visa. But also, the fact itself that you're doing this, it affects the subjective perception of the petition. And as you know, first the immigration officer analyzes it objectively, whether we have at least 3 criteria out of the 10 or 8. Then he looks at it subjectively, taking everything in the totality. Everything that he qualified as a criterion, everything that he did not, looking at the totality of all evidence. Did you raise to the top of your field? What's the top of your field? Nobody knows. I would think that's the 10% of your field in your country. Okay? So, in that subjective criterion, everything comes in, everything. And the more we have, the better. So conferences are very, very good, guys. Chase the participation, the speaking at the conference. That's going to bring you a lot of good. Also, alternatively, the investment in your project over $100,000 may qualify as an award. Okay? Grants, scholarships, and any other recognition in your field may also be an award. Like I told you before, give me at least one. Okay? The more the better. How do we prove that whatever you achieved is an award? Most of the time it's a letter. I have a template when you start working with me. It's the letter with a certain information in it, how often this event happens, who is the organizers, who are the sponsors, who are the judges, who are the participants, how long it's been happening, and things like that. So that letter needs to be filled out and signed by the organizers. Okay, so keep good friends, those who organized those events. Keep in touch with them. Okay, let's move on. Media coverage. Guys, let me tell you this. I know for some of you like, oh my God, who is gonna write about me? Let me tell you this. For more than 8 years of working in my own company, when I'm leading the cases myself, I can remember maybe 3 cases where we did not file press about our clients, provided that probably 70-80% of our clients do not have any press before they start working with us. Okay, why? Because you guys will get the contacts of our contractors, our partners who help our clients to get published in the press. And those are PR agencies that will work, and they're doing a great job, and everything is real. There is no tricky, there is no like gray area. They find the journalists and newspapers and magazines that will be interested in your talent, in your achievements, and they will connect you with them. Okay, so I need 4 articles about you. It also could be TV, it could be radio. Okay, we sometimes use YouTube interviews for the purpose of immigration, but only if that YouTube channel poses itself as a mass media. Okay, so not that anybody who has like 10,000 followers on YouTube can take an interview with you, unless maybe it's professional, but mass media, no. Maybe professional, but we need to look. So I need 4 to 5 for EB1A, 3 to 4 for O1. Okay, and don't forget, guys, when it's written in the press, author, title, and the date. Okay, put this down in your notes. Author, the journalist name. That's mistake number 1. There is no author. Okay, no author, we're not going to use it. Okay, so make sure there's an author, there's a date, and there's a title. Okay, once we have that, it's good. What's the difference between national or major press and professional? The national major press needs to be having a lot of visitors per month. What's a lot? Probably 15 to 20% of the population of your country needs to visit that website. And again, in the case of India, probably it's going to be a little bit different measurement, because India has like what, 1.5 billion, and I don't think that's maybe Russia, maybe you tell me if there is any website in India that has more than like 150 million visitors per month. So for India, it's going to be a little bit different measure, but for most of the countries, that's a good way to start seeing if it's a major press, like 15 to 20% of the populations are the unique visitors a month. Okay, and the professional media is who is the audience, who reads those publications. The visitors doesn't matter, it could be 5 people, but they all like engineers or doctors or IT or designers or business people, whatever. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay, let's move on. Published articles. We already discussed this. So I know that the law is kind of say, hey, it could be like expert opinion in the professional or major media, but trust me on these, guys. I want the scientific academic articles. Okay, so some of you already have them, and they could be from your past, from your student years, no problem. But those of you who don't have it yet, you need to start working on them. And for the purpose of EB1A, I want 3 to 4, so 3 to 4. For the purpose of O1, I want 2 to 3. Okay, so a little bit lower. And if you're like, oh my God, Stanislav, I don't know what's going on, I don't know how to do this. And again, we work with PR agencies who help you to speed up this process as long as you have materials. Okay, so if you don't have the materials, start working on that. If you do, then prepare to get published. All right. So and definitely for EB1A, I want to see the articles, the published articles in the indexed medium and magazines or journals. Recommendation letters is not the criterion per se, okay, but I do require about 15 recommendation / expert opinion letters from you guys. And who can write a recommendation letter from you? Any person or organization who has an expertise in your field, who has enough expertise to assess you as a professional. Okay? So if you're in IT industry, all other IT people, maybe engineers, maybe your vendors, maybe your clients, maybe your employers, maybe associations, maybe people you've done work for, who understand what type of work has been done, all of them could become those who write the recommendation letters. And of course, you guys know it. And if you don't, I'm gonna let you know that in my company, there is a NEO project, NEO, N-E-O. That means that if you a part of NIO, we can get you up to 4 expert opinion letters among the current clients who are working on their cases as of right now. So we find you the match and you exchange the expert opinion letters, and they are most importantly independent. Okay, you don't know that person. Maybe Sarim, maybe you will be matched with a person from Kazakhstan. You've never seen that guy, but he's an expert in whatever in your field, and you're an expert in your field. So you guys analyze the cases each other, and no other attorney, law firm, or anybody else in this world provides you for this great opportunity, guys. Okay, only my company. So that's one of the benefits working with us. Okay, judging the work of others, the most flexible criterion in EB1A and O1 visa. Why? Because that can take up so many forms. Okay, so many forms. Of course, the classic way is you invited to judge the competition, and you assess the professional in your field in some good national competition. So that's the best, and that's the easiest to understand. However, if you are on some type of editorial board or some type of commission, or maybe some type of committee, or maybe you choose who is going to be published or who is going to speak at the conference, or maybe even within your employer, you are required to assess the skills of other professionals in your field. That could be enough to satisfy this criterion. Okay, and if you go to judge the competition, it doesn't have to be in your field. It could be in allied fields. Okay, so let's say IT person can analyze the engineers, can analyze the maybe cybersecurity people and things like that. And by the way, guys, also, I don't know any other attorneys who's doing this, but we work with organizers of hackathons. Okay, and you guys know what hackathon is. It's a competition for IT businessmen and engineers, where they, once they have the hackathon coming, they come to us and say, hey, Stanislav, do you have the current clients who have this and that expertise? And if we do, we talk to the clients and say, hey, we have an opportunity to satisfy additional criteria in your case, and it's kind of free, or it's almost free, like covering the administrative cost of this thing. So you, by way of working with us, you can satisfy this criterion sometimes. Okay. Also, if you peer review the scientific publications of other people, you also may satisfy these criteria. And what kind of paperwork we need to serve as evidence for the purpose of immigration officer is the letters. Usually the letter does the trick. The letters from organizers of competition, from the board where you do things when you choose the whatever you're choosing, or you assess the professionals, or from your employer. Okay, so it's a letter, and of course we have a template, we have the examples of those letters, and you guys using them freely. Okay, let me guys cover these criteria, and then I'll get back to your questions. Contribution to the field, to the industry. And let me tell you guys, again, there's a mistake here. It's not the contribution to the industry, it's the contribution in the industry. Okay, and actually this mistake is usually seen within the RFE. An RFE is a request for evidence. That happens when we send a petition, and the immigration officer is like, okay, I didn't get enough information, or I want more evidence, or something he didn't see. So he sent these documents called RFE, request for evidence. And a lot of times, I don't know, maybe they don't have enough training, maybe they forget, maybe it's an honest mistake. They say, okay, you didn't prove that your contribution is to the industry. Not to the industry, dear immigration officer, but in the industry. And for those of you guys who have English as a first language, you immediately understand the huge gap between these two, because the to the industry is to the industry as the whole. Okay, so that must be something crazy big, something that, you know, changed the industry completely. And that's not what the law says. The law says in the industry, meaning that it had some effect for the industry, but it didn't change it completely. It only changed maybe some things within the industry. And we always make sure that the immigration officers do not ask for illegal stuff, okay? And I drill them on this to the death, okay? I'm gonna be nice, I'm gonna be professional, but I'm gonna make sure that the immigration officer understands that he made a mistake, okay? It's gonna be clear that he made this mistake. So what I'm looking for the contribution in the industry, two things. It must be innovative, it must be original, something new, and it must be significant. What's significant? It's being used. Okay, so that's the easy way to understand. So it's something new that's being used in the industry. And when I say it's being used, not necessarily what you invented, but maybe people start copying it, you know, maybe just stealing it, like blandly stealing your concepts and using them. And that starts making the effect within the industry. The use could be proved by purchasing of license. Let's say it's a patent or it's some kind of intellectual property. It could be the sales of whatever you invented, the technology or approach or methodology. It could be the courses that you teach, that you developed for the university for private purposes. Maybe you sell them on Instagram, on YouTube. It could be your delivery at the conferences. That's also could be the contribution in the field. It could be some invention. It could be the technology. I already mentioned that. So it could be a book. It could be a publication with a lot of citations. So something that's original and significant. Okay, two sub-criteria. And also, Stanislav, how do we prove that that's the contribution in the field? Well, expert opinion letters is the best that God gave us to prove your contribution. All right? So the expert opinion letters, the recommendation letters are going to speak about this. Also, the press is a good indicator that that's the contribution. And of course, the feedback from the industry also in the form of recommendation letters of some kind of evidence that that's being used. Associations, the professional associations, the rarest criterion that we use in your petitions. The case I've mentioned to you that we got approval yesterday for EB1A, the IT person from Russia, IT specialist, he had all 8 criteria satisfied, so we claimed all 8 criteria, although I want to see 6 for EB1A and or at least 5 for O1 visa. Okay, and by the way, the judging, give me 1 to judging the work of others. Give me at least 1 contribution in the field, okay, for both O1 or EB1A. Why just 1 for contribution? Because it's already not very often that happens. So if it happens for more than 1 time, that's really good, but give me at least 1. Associations, rarely I see the good associations. Why? Because we need to have a charter or bylaws in the association, a written document that's gonna say, hey, we accept only if you achieved big things in the industry. And they may give examples, they may be more abstract about it, like more general, but the paper should say that. And also, those who make the decision whether to accept you in the associations must be qualified as national experts. Okay, national experts. So this is a very heightened criterion. Okay, not only the bylaws have to say about outstanding achievements, but also the people who make the decision on your application must be national experts. IAAA senior level or the fellowship level probably satisfy this criteria. Okay, Forbes Council probably satisfy this criterion for the purpose of businessman. Okay, and a bunch of other organizations depending on your industry. Commercial success. Commercial success. I want you guys to make more money than similar experts in your field, in your geographical location. How much more? Well, the law is pretty clear, 20 to 30%, but it doesn't work in reality. I want you to show me twice or 3 times as more than the similar professionals in your field. Also, the law recently changed, and for the purpose of EB1, it happened for O1 purpose in the past, but now they apply it for EB1. Your future income may satisfy the commercial success criterion if we can prove that it's higher than the professionals in your field. Okay, so for example, you have a contract for the future work, but you haven't started working there yet. We can use that contract to prove the commercial success. Okay, bear it in mind, very important. Okay, I think one criterion is missing. Okay, let's see which one is that. So awards, press, judging, associations. Oh, the critical leading role in the industry is missing. Moderator, please make sure you take notes yourself, and moderator is someone from my company, to change this presentation, because there are a bunch of mistakes here. So critical leading role, guys, in a company with a distinguished reputation. So it could be today's company, or it could be a company that you worked in the past, probably within the past 5 to 10 years. Okay, as long as you have, as long as you're working in your industry up to this point. How we prove the reputation of the company that has this distinguished reputation? A lot of factors: how long this company existed, how many people work in it, if it has an awards, if it participates in the industry, in the expos, if it sponsors the events, if it organizes the events, if there is a press on that company, if it's known in the industry. Sometimes the company is not known to the general public. Okay, and that happens a lot in a lot of cases. But within that particular field, within that particular industry, IT, medicine, pharmaceuticals, cybersecurity, whatever that is, people know about this company, and we prove it through the customers of that company. Okay, maybe it's a small company, nobody knows about it, but a lot of bigger companies in the industry using their services. This is a reputation in the field. And you've done either some functions in that company that help it to make money, or you controlled and led the company. Okay, so that way we satisfy this criterion. Give me at least two roles, 2 companies, could be your own company, by the way, for EB1A. Give me at least 1 for O1. Okay, 1 for O1, guys, so easy to remember. All right, let's move on. Let me see. I already explained the expert opinion letters, the importance of those, and I already explained the program NEO that only my company has, guys. No one else. For you to understand, to get the independent expert opinion letters, and that's what you get here, you have to pay $1,500 to here in the States. Okay, there are companies who actually do that for you. Okay, and they charge you $1,500 for 1 letter. So we can get you up to 4 letters. So the value of that is $6,000. No one ever done it on the Stanislav. All right, let's move on. Recommendation letters. Okay, let's look at your questions. Let's see. Okay, Sarim, your question. In your experience, what is the wait time for Pakistan if EB2 NIW petition is approved? Sarim, it's the same. It's the same for Pakistan and everybody else. It's the final action date is July 2022. The date of filing January 2023. So if you're in the States and now they use the date of filing for the purpose of 485 adjustment of status, you can use that date. Okay, so Pakistan is no different than Russia and everybody else. How soon can I come to the US if, let's say, I file in February 2024, get approved in February 2024? And it's not 15 days, Sarima. For the NIW, 45 days, but they're usually fast. They approve it like within days. We actually scored a record, guys. Personal record. 1 day approval for EB2 NIW. Friday we sent a case to USCIS. Saturday lunchtime we get an approval. Okay, and why? Well, because it was best petition the immigration officer ever got in his career. He opened it and okay, Shamayev sent it. It's approval. I do believe, Sarim, if your priority date is February 2024, probably a year and a half is when you will be able to get your interview. Okay, plus the 6 months that you will work on your case. Richard Holder. Richard, I like your last name. If it's a real one, I know in the crypto world they use the word hodler, meaning that if you buy Bitcoin, you never sell it. Okay, and I'm a firm believer in that. In addition to my previous comment about evidence as a visual artist and commercial photographer, and Richard, we have a bunch of cases in that. We even have a NFT artist green card, an EB1A. My photographs have been published in local and international magazines. Good, showcase. Used by book covers and displayed in numerous fine art physical gallery exhibitions. Okay, showcase maybe award. Printed commercial projects and billboards. Okay, very good. Along with scans of these themes, of these items, I would provide a solid high-profile reference letters for leaders in culture and government. Well, Richard, that sounds like EB1A, but again, I want awards. I want you not only to exhibit your work, but also unless exhibition of your work wherever it's being exhibited is already seen as an award in your industry. If it's not the case, then I want you to show me the prizes and awards. Okay? I also want you to show me the press about you and your work. That you worked for I think in your case it's a slam dunk that you work for someone, for brands, for companies, for organizations, and did something for them for the purpose of providing your pictures. That could be a critical role in your case. Also that you're getting paid a fine dollar for that, Richard. Okay, show me that your work is appreciated in a commercial way. So that way you have a really good case for the EB1A. And it's definitely a good start, Richard. Definitely a good start. Probably make sure, Richard, okay, I want you to fill out a free evaluation at the end of this webinar. I will take a look. Maybe you already have a green card. Definitely sounds like O1B if you have an employer, but probably a green card. Luisito, sorry I missed what you said. How much would you charge for expert recommendation letters? Luisito, it's if you participate in NIW, that's gonna be free for you. Well, there is a charge for that, but it's included in the price that you paid for my work. Okay, and starting from the second offering, which is $16,000 for the purpose of EB1A or $13,000 for the purpose of O1, you'll get it for free. Okay? So, and that's the benefit of working with my company. And if you want to get that expert opinion letter outside of my company, then you have to pay $1,500 for one. Okay, Rashi, I'm here in Miami, and if I have to do change of status from here, what would be lead time for EB1A? No, I don't know what you mean by lead time, Rashi. But provided that your priority day is current and you want to change of or if you're asking for O1, that's automatic. Okay, it's not even upcharge for you, only for your family. Okay, they will pay a little bit extra, but if it's O1 or other non-immigrant visa, you will be good. We can change it as it goes. Richard says, I have awards, lots of press, thanks. Richard, sounds like a green card to me, okay? Sounds like a green card. So make sure you fill out the free evaluation form so I could take a look and tell you more specifically if it's a good case. But what I see, what I hear, it's a music to my ears. I really like that. At the YEMI, in addition to my master's degree in business management in the UK, I previously worked for the largest electricity distribution company in my home country, Nigeria. Really good. It sounds like a critical leading role. I worked as a business support officer for 6 years. I don't know which one I best qualify for. Again, at the YEMI, I still need more information. So when you fill out the free evaluation form, I'll be more clear on which visa works better for you. Sounds more like EB1A, but maybe B2NIW. Collins, the YEMI is it NEPA you work for? I guys encourage you communicate with each other and exchange the emails, the cell phones, the WhatsApp, because you guys already have something in common. You come to my webinars and you want to come to the States. So this is good enough to start a relationship. My dissertation supervisor for my master's also mentioned I could publish my thesis. Dissertation sounds really good, guys. So that could be contribution to the field and publication. So at the YEMI, I think you're good for EB1A, but make sure you fill out the free evaluation. So guys, let's talk about case studies. O1 case for a businessman and innovator from Cameroon. You can watch Bruno. His name is Zuo Bruno. He made a interview with me on my YouTube, so you can find his review, and he was like, in a nutshell, he said Stanislav is the best, but you can see more details when you watch. He has a really good case for EB1A, but we changed his strategy. We filed for O1, we got it approved about a few weeks ago. Now we started finishing up his case for EB1A. Why we switched to O1 in the middle of the case? Because he said, Stanislav, I need to start working immediately. And he did it like this. And I said, okay, Bruno, no hands involved. Let's do O1 first and then just finish with EB1A, okay? And he got some nice awards in Africa. He went to the conferences. He had a good press about him, some publications, and he made some inventions for the business. So he has a really solid case for the green card. O1 case visa marketing specialist from Brazil, Camila. She's been, her case was crazy, guys. We started working in August on her case and we had only a month and a half, okay? And usually it's 6 months, so it was like craziness and oh my God, with nobody slept in her team. We managed to get her approved for O1B because she's a marketing specialist. It's a content, and content goes more to like TV production and movies and this kind of stuff. She was able to implement my strategy for this short amount of time. She was able to do the press and got an additional award. And she opened up her own company because she didn't have an employer. And her company became her employer. as well as Bruno's. Okay, and the moderator sent the link to the review of Bruno's. So guys, watch it; it's really good. The good thing about Camila, she worked for Facebook for 5 years, and I think when the officer sees the Facebook and like the big companies, I mean, they're like, okay, this is gonna be approved. So not everybody has it, but like I told you, O1 is not the most complicated visa. We were able to get it slam dunk for basically 6 weeks, which is really short amount of time. My record, guys, my record for EB1A is 2 weeks. Actually, 10 days. 10 days. There was like something crazy happened. Not going to discuss this with the client, and we were able to basically from 0 to hero 10 days. Not recommending it because the client paid twice as much because I had to allocate 2 teams for his case, and nobody slept. Okay, we've been working 24/7 on his case. We filed, we got it approved. The client is happy. Nobody enjoyed doing this, but hey, the result is most important for us. So EB1A, and guys, I take a lot of pride for this case. The crypto analyst from Ukraine. Why? First of all, I don't think anybody ever got the EB1A approved for a crypto analyst because it's so new and nobody knows what to do with this. Nobody understands. And if you guys didn't notice, I understand the crypto and Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I'm a big fan. I try to orange peel as many people as possible. I do believe Bitcoin is #1 asset in the world and it's going to keep growing up forever. But immigration officers don't realize that. And a lot of achievements that we use for this case, and we had only 5 criteria, they are not in the law. They kind of achievements in the field which are really hard to prove. For example, he has his Telegram channel and his closed Discord community, which I qualify as association because they accept only for achievements, and those who accept, they experts in the field. But imagine to explain all this to immigration officer who does know what Telegram is, okay? And you guys know we work in a Telegram messenger with our clients. So when you become our client, you will be working with us in a Telegram. Most likely now we're gonna move to the CRM system. So in the future it's going to be different, but right now it's Telegram. And imagine nobody officer never knew what Discord is. So first you need to explain what Discord is, then what a Discord community is, and how things work. And that was pretty crazy, guys. We got an RFE, we responded, we got it approved. So it was a very hard case, but I'm taking pride that we get an approval. And the last one for today in this category, EB1A, precision shooter. That was the client from Kazakhstan. And precision shooter, if you guys don't know, you have a long rifle and you shoot to the long distance, like 800 meters, kilometer, like really far away. So that case was hard because we got an RFE from immigration officer, and he said, hey, yes, you have awards, yes, you have press, yes, you have critical role in the Kazakhstan national team, but I don't think you reached the national acclaim. And when I saw this, my blood started boiling because my guy came to the US, competed with the US national team, and won. Okay? And I said to the immigration officer, well, immigration officer, if you think my guy did not achieve at least national recognition, can you please explain how did he beat your guy in the competition? Okay, so I think that was a winning argument, and we got an approval. The immigration officer agreed that this argument has no counter argument, because if my guy beats your guy, well, I guess he has at least a national and probably international recognition. Okay, sometimes we fight tooth and bone, guys, for you, and that was the case. All right, let's guys talk. We have very little time, so let's dive deep in the EB2NIW. Okay, not gonna discuss the benefits. You guys get a green card. So the EB2NIW, I do believe that it was created for the STEM category: STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Yes, we get approvals for STEM for business and for culture and for sports, but STEM is the #1 priority for this program. What are the criteria for EB2NIW? First of all, your advanced degree. I want to see bachelor's and 5 years experience in the industry, or master's degree, or if you don't have the higher education, I need to prove that you have exceptional ability, and exceptional ability is alternative to the advanced degree. We need to prove 3 out of the 6 criteria. I'm not going to spend much time on it. You can find it online. They similar to EB1A, but a little bit different. So that's the pre-qualification. Okay, that's how we pre-qualify you for this program. Now, and by the way, the rest 5 tiles on the screen, they are a part of those of the exceptional ability, right? Like a license to practice, membership, high salary, recognition, letters, and also any other degree. Okay, the 6th one, any other degree. So all this is a pre-qualification. Okay, so let's stop here. Now we need to know what is your proposed endeavor in the national interest of the US. Okay, let's break it down by word. First word is proposed. Guys, we need to understand that the endeavor, and in other words is a project, does not have to be in existence yet. Got it? I talk about it all the time, and I still see, oh my God, Stanislav, I don't have it. I don't have a project. I don't have it, so I don't qualify. You don't have to have it. You have to propose it. You see the difference? Having it and proposing it. So having it, it's in existence. It's operational. Proposing it, that's your future suggestion how you're gonna do things. Okay? So that's the proposed. Endeavor. What is endeavor? That's something you're gonna be doing. Stanislav, I don't have an endeavor. How do I know which endeavor I'm gonna be doing? I think it's easy and complicated at the same time, but I developed the exercise, guys. So remember this exercise. The best way to find your proposed project, your proposed endeavor, is look what you are doing right now, or what you have been doing the past 5 to 10 years. And take whatever you have the most relevant experience in your field, in your career, transform it, and propose it as an endeavor in the future. For example, we have someone here has a polymer engineering degree. Okay, I would assume it's at least a bachelor's, and we do have 5 years of experience, or most likely it's a master's degree. So, and that person worked in this industry, making new materials, polymer materials, working on some sustainable polymer, whatever that is. So it's a no-brainer for me that we gonna say, hey, what we've been doing in the past, we're gonna continue be doing in the future. We're gonna continue to develop the materials. Or alternatively, we're gonna be consulting the engineers that are involved in polymer production. I actually prefer the second. Or, for example, you are in the research of let's take the same example, polymer engineer, like engineer who's in polymer materials, and you never done this, you never have practical experience actually creating the materials or working with them, but you've been doing research. Continuing research is most likely an endeavor that's in the national interest of the US. Okay? Put that in your notes, guys. So it's actually not as hard as you think. All you need to do is to look in your past, in your present, what kind of project you worked on, what kind of expertise you have, which you can transform in continue doing or being a consultant. Okay? Most of my cases that I file for EB2 and NIW are for consultancy. Okay? Okay, let's look at examples. EB2 and NIW for business category for a talented flower shops entrepreneur. She's from Russia, and she has an expertise in building businesses for top consumers, luxury side of consumers of the flowers. So her bouquets for flowers start like with $200. Okay, so she, and could be up to a few $1,000s, right? And she specializes in peonies. I think that's the way you pronounce peonies. This is like this round flower with a lot of how you call this, whatever the flowers consist of, those little things, and she built that business in Russia. She transferred to here in the States, and she also wanted to franchise this business and start the peonies plantations. Okay, and we were able to prove that her business in the national interest of the States, and she recently got the green card. Congratulations to her. Her degree was in marketing, so it's a business degree with a lot of experience, and we were able to show that her past experiences transform well to the States, and that's with a number of employees and her franchising and her peonies plantations. That's the national interest of the US. And the second case study is EB2 NIW for a talented engineer. He is from Israel, and all his career has engineering, software engineering degree, and he was optimizing processes in the control systems. Okay, and guys, listen to this. If you have an experience in optimizing, optimization, automation, modernization, any process in business, production, manufacturing, I can tell you right now, this is 95% to 99% approval for EB2 NIW. In whatever field you are, doesn't really matter. If you optimize the processes in the manufacture or anywhere else, that's EB2 NIW. Okay? So bear it in mind. Very important. Okay. Let me guys first tell you about the presents, and then I'll get back to your questions. All right. Free evaluation. I expect all of you to fill out the forms for free evaluation. And for your convenience, guys, I have the QR codes, so scan them, talent and NIW, and also the links in the chat for Discord. But for those of you who watch on YouTube, on Facebook, scan the QR codes. Fill them out now. Okay? Don't wait. Don't wait till Friday, till Thanksgiving, till New Year, till you put your kids to the sleep. No, do it right now. Okay? Now, you can directly contact my company through WhatsApp. You can scan this QR code or take a picture, scan it later, and it will redirect you to my company's representatives. Okay? The guide that I promised to you in the beginning, for your convenience, guys, scan the QR code or take a picture and you'll get a link. Download it, because we're going to remove the link. So don't wait. Download it and enjoy it. There is no such guide in the universe. And also for your convenience, for those of you who in Livestorm, there is a link. Okay. And you also see more QR codes to connect with us on X Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. All of these are in English. So let's spend a few more minutes for your questions, guys. From Steph Agent on YouTube. Hi, Stanislav. Hi, Steph. I'm following you for a long time. Yes. What is the cheapest option hiring your team service to apply for one of those immigration programs? Okay, so Steph, you said immigration, meaning it's a EB category. So the complete filing of your case is $13,000. Okay, as of today, that's the cheapest option. We have more expensive options, but they will help you to save time. It doesn't affect to the strength of your case. So EB1A, the complete filing of the case is 13,000, and for O1 or such, it's 11,000. Okay, so 11 and 13. That's the way to go. Natalie Zarinska. I'm graduated vocal performance artist. Okay, I come from Macedonia. There you go. At the moment, working on my original music. I had some concerts and performance during the years. There is some media coverage. I need to be able to work as a professional in the US. If O1 is the way to go, where do we start? Natalie, let me take you back. You start right here. So that's where you start. That's your first step to come to the US and to start working with my company. Either or both. Okay. So first thing, I want to know if you actually qualify for EB1A or O1B. And mind, your O1 is going to be B because it's art. And I will be able to tell you which exactly visa is better for you only after seeing your answers to my questions. And the questions are under the QR codes. Don't worry about EB2 and NIW. Focus on O1 and EB1A, and that's your first step. Okay, let's see what else. Guys, a few more questions and we will be done. Muhammad, can you please type your WhatsApp number here? Yes, Muhammad, it's right below. 7 + 1 727 458 1422. All right, guys, I'm tired. I'm gonna get my Russian borscht. So thank you everybody who attended, and I see that no one left from Livestorm. Okay, up to the end. Good, you guys get these style points. Make sure you fill out the free evaluation. Make sure you contact my company in case you want to ask more questions. And make sure you follow me on all these platforms. We provide unique content on all of them. Guys, thank you very much for being here. I'm Stanislav Shamayev, a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.